So I've got a problem, which is great because I know how to code and I can solve the problems I have. Let me tell you about it. So I've got this club at my school where we come together to make cool stuff with Arduinos and electronics and 3D printers. But in the last few weeks, we just can't seem to, get together. So I think we have an organization problem as well as a planning one. Everybody has their own duties and schedules, and we just can't seem to find the middle ground and to find actually good session times for making stuff together. Having seen what you can do with creativity and coding, I really think this is a dumb problem to have, and I think I can solve it in like a day or so. Oh, and by the way, I'm Alexa. Nice to meet you. I'm a 16-year-old high school student, and I'm particularly interested in coding, using even AI to make powerful startups that actually solve people's problems. I believe we live in a day and age where everything's possible, where we have all the tools, yet we're stuck. We're in some kind of a mental cage that just blocks us from creating. We're so used to indulging in other people's thoughts and other people's lives. I really want to change that. This is sort of like a testament to myself, and I'd like to commit to a challenge of building in public and making stuff every day for at least an hour. I don't have an excuse. I do have a busy schedule, but I can always and I should always put some time for myself. I should first pay myself and then pay others. So I could rant about these philosophies for as long as you'd like, but let's head to work. So here's what I'm up to. I made a blank app, a website that I could just dive into making right away. I set everything up beforehand, and I wrote some things about the app, about the problem, and about the solution I want to make, just so I don't lose compass, because it's happened to me countless times. Clarity really is a precious resource today. So I recognize that students want the club sessions more frequently, obviously. I'm solving a problem for myself, so that's pretty clear. Also, teachers don't have enough time to keep students accountable. We have a limitation in that at all times a teacher has to be with the students. We can't work alone. And that means it's pretty hard to synchronize the schedules and find the right times. Also, as I said, it's not as clear what we're doing, what we're intending to do, and what we've done. So planning is out of the picture, reflection is nowhere to be seen, and I really want to fix that. So what I'm proposing as a solution is making an app where you can join a club, where you can import your calendar or schedule, block out your free time, and make it zero friction. Because I've already made an app that does something like that. It's called Timetabled, and you pretty much make a new timetable. You add your available periods, you can add another, place the periods there, and then it will give you the recommended times for the week. Once you made your own and want to share it with others, you can just copy a link, and anybody with that link using this encoded data can get a copy of it. The issue with this is, I suppose it's too hard and too boring to fill out like a survey, and people didn't really use it that much. I sent them the link. Only one of the teachers responded, so there was obviously something wrong with this. If you were able to just link your Google Calendar or drop in a PDF of your schedule and make the app figure out where are those free time blocks, I think that would significantly lower the barrier to entry for anyone using the app. This part is pretty much timetabled in a sense that it recommends session times where teachers overlap or where one covers the other and there's a 15-minute gap, and you could make that work. The teachers would schedule the sessions, and then afterwards you could write and save reports from the sessions you've held. And this is an important one, rules. UI is completely unimportant. We're entrepreneurs. We're not UI designers. We're not software engineers. I know making an ugly UI is gonna hurt my pride, but the point is in solving the real problem. It's in validating that your idea is worth pursuing. It's not about wasting time on those minor tasks like UI and scalability and that one little icon in the corner of the site. We make fast and then optimize later. Okay, let me just put it on GitHub so I can keep track of the progress and have a nice GitHub progress bar. So I'll start by defining the structure or the UI of the MVP. I know I just said it was unimportant, but I just gotta grasp the concept, the core of the app. in order to know what to build. As I'm using Cursor, I'll just give it the README file and I'll say, hey, how do you think we could solve these problems in as concise of a way possible? Outline the structure of the app and minimal functionality. By the way, this is my first time doing this in Cursor. I would generally plan it up in ChatGPT or using a pen and paper. I'm just lazy to do that right now because I think AI can do a good enough job of that. And it's alright, so I'm gonna ask it to make the task list, and it said making the authentication, making people log in, making the users join or leave a club, making the users import their schedules, then the app suggests times, then teacher schedules a session, blah blah blah. Make it broader and more concrete. I'll take this, and obviously I have some prior technical knowledge. I just want to delegate a task like making a roadmap to an AI, because I've got better things to use my brain at. So let's implement authentication, I guess. So I'll tell it to set up the Google authentication with Supabase and make the UI with Daisy UI. You don't really have to know what these are, but basically Supabase is for giving your app the database, the place to store data, and to authenticate users. And Daisy UI is a UI library that allows you to make stuff like this without much styling knowledge. I also told it to use Context 7 for fetching the documentation, because these AI models are not always trained on fresh data. They have a knowledge cutoff, and things in software change fast, so you gotta tell it to look it up before actually making something. Here it is, doing exactly that, and after it's done, it should start changing the files. Yeah, there it is. So it added Supabase there, it added a task, which I'll accept. I'll accept this file as well. I'll review the next one. This really is more like a product management than a building workflow. I reviewed them all, and now I'm supposed to make the project and actually give it the credentials. I'll make this file for secrets, make a Supabase project, choose the location, and create. While we're waiting, how have you been today? Have you had time to take a breath, to stop, to feel the moment? You know, I did. I had to. This little spinner is driving me crazy. I've faced burnout way too many times to let it slip, to forget how important it is to regenerate, to reconnect with nature, to touch grass, to not overwork yourself. When you're working, you should be doing so. You should be laser focused, knowing what you do, and doing it to the fullest. But you should take breaks, you should stretch, you should socialize, you should train. There's so much more things to life than work. And so is, other than scrolling and living on autopilot, not having a purpose. Whatever you're doing, you should take it easy, but still achieving the things you said you would. It could be through small steps. You build up that respect for yourself, not by over-promising to anyone and especially to yourself, but by picking the tiniest little tasks and goals you could accomplish just to gain momentum and to prove to yourself that you can do this. It's as simple as that. I'm starting to think if there's something wrong with my patience or this site as a whole. I think I'm better off just using some of the old projects. Well, not today. This isn't gonna happen in a while, so let's continue with the next tasks. Alright, Supabase is taking a while to load. What can we do? Alright, so it's suggested to make a store and to fill it up with mock data so that we can use it throughout the UI and then swap it out for the real thing once we make it. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm not sure for how long this vibe coding mindset is gonna hold, but I've seen people make crazy stuff without writing a single line of code, so that's giving me hope. Of course, I'll have to intervene, and fast that is. Nuxt.js Supabase is missing, so that's a simple fix. I'll just install the missing module. That was solved, but now I'm debugging with Cursor and trying to figure out what's wrong. This is a mess. So let's Google it. Can't believe I'm doing this. Okay, of course someone had the same exact issue as me, and it could just be the fix. A dirty one, that is. But if it works, it works. I'm not complaining. Alright, so we're getting a different kind of error, which is pathetic, but it's a good sign. Oh hey, actually, that spinner wasn't for us. This is fascinating. And honestly, things like this happen, and they happen a lot, and you shouldn't be discouraged. When I ask myself if I'm the problem or Supabase is the problem, I was, indeed. It just took a whole hour to figure that out. But that's the charm of this. Nothing is easy. I shouldn't be too happy as we're not done. Job finished? I don't think so. Now we're heading to the Google Cloud Console to obtain the API key. I'll make a new project there as well. And just so you know, I'm good at following instructions, and this AI is giving me great ones. And I mean, this is a pretty simple task that's been done over and over again. But when we get to the weeds, it's not gonna be easy, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually surprised I haven't done this before. And if nothing, it's an awesome learning experience I'll take over to the next project. Ideas come and go. Some stick, some get tractions, some don't. There's a mix of factors, but mainly it's because some are good, some are bad, and I wouldn't like to spend my time on things that no one wants to use. But here, you're gaining experience on things that you'll do throughout your way, throughout every project you build. And that way, you're getting the most even out of the worst ideas you have. There's literally not a better way in history to start making stuff, to show it to the world. And there's nothing you can lose. I mean, you could argue, but let's just stop for a moment. Let's just lie to ourselves. Let's just become delusional. And maybe that takes us somewhere other than this point right here. Overthinking kills productivity, and its ROI is literally negative. So let's get to the point. Let's see. So, okay, that's letting me do something, and that's great. It actually works. I can't believe it. It took 2 hours and 0 lines of code, but still, this is tough. Today, AI can write your code 1,000 times faster than you. The problem is not in the coding itself. It's in programming. It's in solving problems. That's why we need you. That's why we need entrepreneurs. That's why we need software engineers. That's why we need people and authenticity. That's what really creates. AI is useless on its own, for now at least. But why don't use it as a tool to extend our horizons and to extend our abilities when it's just so widely used and so widely available? I joined that club. I left that club. I'm not sure what's that supposed to do. Oh, well, nothing. We're using dummy data. And I think I'll call it a day here. It's embarrassing, and it's just the way that it should be. We rolled the ball onto a small hill, and there is Mount Everest waiting for us to push it over its peak. But it's gonna take time. It's gonna take effort. Time is gonna pass anyways, and I think no time was wasted today. As you might have noticed, I'm new here. I'm figuring things out, and hopefully that's what you're into. This will improve as I do. And I hope you have patience like I did not have today for coding, for exploring, and just doing stuff, creating stuff, making stuff out of nowhere and showing it to the world. That's an important part. I did my part today. I'm waiting for you. Tell me your thoughts, subscribe to make me accountable, and I'll probably see you soon. Let's see where this takes us. I just realized I forgot to record the screen on the last one, and I'll tell you, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Don't try to prove me otherwise. You can just smile it off, laugh it off, and continue on your journey. What else to say?